Probably need headphones so it doesn't go back into the stream.
No, I'm not gonna watch it.
Oh. Oh, you texted to Ivana? Okay. Well, I'm gonna listen to it to make sure our audio is good, I guess. So...
Welcome to the stream, everyone.
Oh yeah, we've started for 17 whole seconds, I forgot. Hey guys, we're back again with The Greatest Attorney Chronicles. Hopefully looking to finish case 2, but I'm doubtful based on how the tutorial case went. For now, we'll head into it. Here, can you pull up the stream? I need to analyze the audio. The Adventure of the Unbreakable Speckled Band.
In a corner of that small, dark room, Sholmes and I waited with bated breath.
In time,
there came from the ventilator a hiss and a soft, almost growl-like sound. Suddenly, Sholmes sprang into action, lashing furiously with his cane at a point in the darkness. "You see it, Wilson?" he yelled, his tense voice reverberating through the air.
I think that is good.
My dark lantern's shutter, and the room slowly came into view. Sholmes was
Anyway,
staring
I can turn it.
intently at one particular corner.
Was it pretty loud for you?
Whispering to me,
Turn it off a bit.
the victim's most perplexing final words.
Actually, that's as loud as it goes.
Speckled band. I believe this is the terrible coil to which she referred, Wilson.
They're not loud enough for you?
In front of us was an enormous adder, its fangs bared as it threatened to strike.
Is it the same as yours?
No, yours is way quieter than mine for some reason.
Terrible speckled
That's weird.
band I had ever seen.
Alright, I wasn't paying attention to any of that, so... yeah. Like we're on board a ship. I think those headphones are just quieter.
Alright, whatever.
I think that's just how it works. Oh my gosh!
Unravel this mystery and discover what events led
Oh,
to
what
this
the heck?
murder.
An anime, for real.
Do excuse me. The cabin door was bolted from the inside when the man was killed. No marks to suggest the bolt was tampered with in any way. So, this would appear to be a locked room mystery. In his final moments, the victim scrawled a message on the floor.
Russian?
Almost certainly
I don't know what that said.
from this upset bottle.
What if we're the dead person? What if Ryunosuke's dead?
Oh
Main
my
character is now
gosh.
Herlock Sholmes.
So, the victim was a Russian.
Oh, you were right!
That
What?
was well-formed, suggesting he was compos mentis at the time. This is a most extraordinary script.
How'd you know that was Russian?
Not penned by the same hand as this message.
Doesn't know what
In fact,
Russian
it
looks like.
was written by someone of a different nationality.
Doing?
Shooting people.
This paper seal was placed just prior to the incident by the victim himself, I would venture. Well, what have we here?
Our classic gadget guy.
And what do you think you're doing here?
No one must
They're Russian.
We must wait.
Looks like you're expecting you're Russian now too.
You see, in less than 5 seconds from now, I will reveal the killer to you. What?
Gonna be us again.
Oh, he's got a
Don't be absurd.
gnarly sunburn.
This is murder. And in cabin locked from inside.
Ah yes, the locked room. But that mystery is paper thin.
You don't mean the culprit is in there?
Who are you? And where
Wait.
have you come from?
It's the inspector.
I'm a great British consultant detective, the only one in the world. Herlock Sholmes. I presume you must have heard of me.
My goodness.
Alright. So yeah, apparently part of the reason, so this game did come out like years ago, like the first game. But the reason it took so long to come here was the Sherlock Holmes thing. Because he was, I think, named Sherlock Holmes in Japan. But then here they brought it here.
And
That's
they
Herlock
had
Sholmes.
issues.
Ugh, my head is throbbing. What's going on? Something's not right here. There's trouble in the air. Alright, looks like that's the sticker that was on the cabinet. We're in the room that the death happened. Wait, I can't move. Nice.
Are we accused again?
What the? Why am I in handcuffs? We're probably gonna be the murderer again. Alright, you want to be this voice or?
This Herlock Sholmes?
I get the feeling it might be.
Is he British?
Yeah?
So you wake up now.
What's your British
That's not
accent?
So you wake up now.
Oh, okay, no, it's a
Ah,
Russian
the British.
sailor.
We had to drag you out of the wardrobe.
Oh, yeah, we were probably the
I
killer
do
again.
not believe how you could not wake up. You are a true cold-blooded man.
You. Found me then? What?
We found you. And now you pay criminal.
With a K, because they really need to specify that.
Criminal.
I'm sure we can hear that in his accent.
How long are you hiding in a tiny wardrobe,
Ugh, sorry.
Now you have been found. It is time to admit your crimes. Unless you want to find out how cold the ocean is,
No, I'll tell you everything. Alright.
You got his voice.
There's only one thing I'd like to know from you. Isn't that, wait.
Are you Herlock
It's
Sholmes?
her.
Oh, thanks.
There's
That's-
only one thing I'd like to know. Why did you do it? Why did you take his life?
Miss Susato. Wait, what did you say? Take his life? Where is he? Where's oh no!
No way.
No, it actually happened. Where's Kazuma?
Kazuma died?
No, not like
Ha!
this.
You pretend you do not know. You are a wolf in sheep's pelt.
I told you he looked like the kind of character
No
who's
way
gonna die in
does
the second
Kazuma
case.
die, dude. He's my favorite. He's my dope voice. You are the killer. Do not try to make excuses.
What?
Kazuma-sama's body was discovered not long ago. No! Here, in this very cabin, I was bolted shut from the inside.
His buddy?
Please, do not try to tell us you are doing this terrible thing in your sleep.
Kazuma's dead? But he can't be.
No freaking way, dude.
And these handcuffs. Surely you don't think I
have to know. Why did you take Kazuma-sama's life? Answer me, please!
No.
Not again.
No!
Oh my
Wow.
gosh.
We're just gonna be the accused every case now, apparently.
Is that normally how it is?
No, it's usually your assistant. Actually, in the main attorney games, there's an assistant you have, and she's been like accused of being the murderer like 5+ times. I'm pretty sure. It was just 2 short weeks ago, but it's across multiple games too. Are you sure about this? Won't we get in trouble? Here, you can still voice it. One last time.
Fun being a stowaway. Besides, how else could you come to England with me to study?
It was really something else when they brought your luggage in here earlier, though. The way that Russian crewman just tossed your traveling case onto the floor, I thought I was gonna die.
Yes, I still can't quite believe that. I really didn't think you'd be able to fit inside my trunk.
How? What?
No.
What?
You must be even less of a man than you look.
Hey, honestly, I thought I'd broken every bone in my body.
Oh my gosh.
Well, it's about 50 days until we dock in Great Britain. But if you confine yourself to my cabin here, I don't expect anyone will discover you.
This is a nice room. I hope not. I get the feeling those Russians wouldn't be very forgiving of a stowaway.
Why are we in handcuffs?
No,
They're a sturdy
we're in
bunch,
handcuffs
that's
because
for
they think
sure.
we killed him.
Well, and because we're stolen.
I mean, what I want to know is, why do we need to keep it a secret from the young lady?
From our faithful judicial assistant Mikotowa, you mean?
From your close friend, more to the point. Surely we could confide in her, couldn't we? I don't believe she'd give me away.
No, but if she knew what we'd done, that would make her guilty by association. It's best that only you and I know about this.
I suppose so.
Anyway, it's about the time that the steward is supposed to come and clean the cabin. I know it's cramped, but you'd better get in there, I think. It won't be for long. Anyway, compared to hiding inside my traveling case, it'll be a breeze.
Yes, but what if the steward decides to open the wardrobe for some reason? Then I'll be in for it.
Stop worrying. I tell you what, why don't you write "keep out" or something on this piece of paper?
What?
Then I can stick it over the wardrobe doors once you're inside.
I don't know. I've only been at sea for about 15 days. How can this have happened? We were supposed to be going on this adventure to England, together.
We leave you at next port. Stay quiet until then, don't make more trouble for you. Murderer.
No, I'm not a murderer.
Duh! You
Again.
said before, you said you admit everything about your crimes.
No, that's not right. I mean, yes, I did stow away on the ship, but murdering my best friend?
No one else could have done it. Admit the truth.
Susato-san. Please, tell me what happened. I need to know.
Very well. But there's something I would like to ask of you.
Ugh, eyes. She looks like she's ready to destroy me. This nightmare is getting worse by the minute. I suppose all I can do is try to find out what really happened. Kazuma's death. Really has been killed, hasn't he? This isn't just a bad dream? And these handcuffs. They think I did it? They think I'm Kazuma's killer?
When they found him, the cabin was locked from the inside.
What do you mean?
There's no access to the cabin via a porthole window, and the bolt on the door can't be operated from outside. In other words, after the crime, the culprit couldn't have escaped these four walls.
What?
Or to put it another way, the culprit can only have been somebody inside this cabin. Or do you have some other explanation?
This is impossible. How did he die then? What exactly happened?
Are you still going to deny the charge, even despite the circumstances?
Please, Usato-san, you have to tell me.
The cause of death is still undetermined.
Don't know how he died?
Ship's doctor is examining the body, but of course, he has no post-mortem analysis experience. I don't suppose we shall learn more until an expert has been consulted at our next port of call.
Assumably that means there were no obvious external signs of injury then.
It's true, yes.
No, it's just how you're doing investigation. You cover every point. Can't anyone tell me what happened here in this cabin? I don't understand it. Why would anyone want to kill Kazuma?
Presumably that's something you know the answer to better than anyone.
Please.
Whatever you say. You were here in the cabin after all.
Well, yes, I was, but
Would always wake before dawn and do his training first thing in the I was waiting outside his cabin, as I have every day so far on this voyage.
oof, she was
Bro,
crushing
were they
on him.
lovers?
Oh,
Yeah,
man. And now he's dead.
But this morning he did not come. I could sense that he...
What's that mean? He was already dead when Susato-san arrived at his cabin door? I wonder.
I knocked, but there was no reply. Then I started to become worried, so I went to find a member of the crew. The crewman forced the cabin door open, and when we managed to get inside, there was Kazuma-sama, collapsed on the floor.
Dang.
The white tape there now shows exactly what he
You
where
should
he
have
was
just
found, I
wrote
suppose.
not Rinosuke.
What if you just wrote the killer's name, but it's in Russian? I had no idea anything had happened.
What if he wrote our name?
I must have been asleep in the wardrobe somehow.
Wish I wasn't the case, but that's just very hard to believe.
This is all very hard to believe for me too, trust me.
Now I've told you everything that I know, so it's my turn to ask you a question.
Yes, alright. Oh, my head feels so heavy. It's still throbbing like anything.
Oh no.
Why are you even aboard this ship, Naruhodo-san? You said something before about being a stowaway, didn't you?
Oh, yes, I'm afraid that's true. It's 2 weeks since we left Japan now. I've been shut up in this cabin the entire time.
I had no idea. But how could you have occupied Kazuma-sama's cabin for so long without him noticing?
No, that would have been impossible, obviously!
Yes, of course.
Kazuma invited me. He wanted us to go to England together.
I actually asked you? But why? We hate you.
I'm afraid I don't really know the reason myself. Why you start wheeling?
I don't understand. This is why he never brought me back to his room.
Kazuma, why do you want this? What's the real reason? Why go to such extreme lengths to smuggle me to England with you?
It's an idea that's been on my mind ever since the end of that incredible trial. I think I told you then, didn't I? That you ought to become a lawyer yourself.
Well, yes, you did say that, but I didn't think you were serious.
You have a talent for it, I can assure you of that.
But I never really thought about becoming a lawyer.
Well, that's something you can decide for yourself. London is at the spearhead of cultural development, the center of the world in many ways. There can't be any harm in seeing such an important place with your own eyes, can there?
Well, no, definitely not.
But on a personal level, if you were to become a lawyer, then...
You could try for me when I killed someone, and I can get away with murder.
Mortar!
Moiter.
Mortar!
Then what?
Nothing. Forget it. Kazuma-sama he was always saying the same thing. He wanted to change the Japanese legal system. Perhaps he thought that he could do that with you.
Yes, maybe. But something's still bothering me a little. Look in his eyes then. It was darker than I've ever seen it before. Susato-san. I'm sorry that we kept it a secret from you. By stowing away on the ship, I mean.
If I know Kazuma-sama, I expect he was trying to protect me to avoid me becoming guilty by association.
That's exactly right. Yes, word perfect, in fact.
Last night...
Sounds so...
If you're not the culprit, then tell me. What happened last night here in this cabin?
Well, the thing is, I'm his real lover. I don't really remember. We drank too much. Just one drink, a little too much. Kazuma brought me something to eat, just like he always did. And then I got myself into that wardrobe over there, just like I always did. After that, I...
Fell asleep?
Well, yes.
So deeply that you didn't even stir when Kazuma-sama was killed?
Well, yes.
It's kind of effed up, not gonna...
He was probably drugged. It was right after he ate.
Yeah, maybe.
I know it sounds unbelievable, really, I do, but it's the truth. If only I'd woken up, then perhaps I wouldn't be in this predicament. And for some reason, my head's still throbbing like anything. What do you mean, like
Really?
anything? What does that even mean?
Anything.
Something wrong?
Oh, no, it's... Please forget it.
Zaza-san, you have to believe me. I didn't do it.
I really don't want to doubt you. But the trouble is, no one else who could possibly have done this.
Kazuma, I don't understand. Why? Why would you die? Why did this have to happen?
Favorite.
Ah! I can't take this.
Don't try to go anywhere. You're the perpetrator of this crime. You can't leave. I can't allow that to happen.
Sorry. But Kazuma was killed right under my nose here, and I didn't do anything to stop it. Now I'm supposed to just sit around? My hands tied? Whoever did this walks free? No! I can't allow that to happen!
Well, what do you propose to do then?
Time to mess up the crime scene. I'm going to investigate. I'm going to find out exactly what happened here. I'm going to work out who took Kazuma's life, and how, and why they did it. So I'm sorry, but you're going to have to excuse me. Starts to run away.
Oh! She karate chopped you.
Holy shit, what the?
That was a Susato takedown!
A Susato what? What martial art form is that?
I'm going to need you to prove it.
Sorry, prove it?
Yes, your innocence. I need evidence.
But how am I supposed to?
Have you forgotten already? What you achieved just a few weeks ago? You successfully defended yourself in a court of law.
Ah, I see. Just expect me to present some conclusive evidence. I have to get Susato-san to believe me. I'll show her some evidence right now that proves I'm not guilty of this awful crime.
How?
Yeah!
Oh, the thing.
Is there any way to fit for my mouse? Nope. Tell me, when I was discovered in the wardrobe before, was this piece of paper stuck over the doors?
Oh, yes it was. I remember clearly.
I like how I'm still upside down as I'm explaining this. I thought so. Cosmo always put it in place whenever I went to sleep in there, just in case the cabin steward or another crew member decided to look inside. So naturally, he did the same last night as well.
Yes, of course. The gentleman who discovered you peeled that sign from the wardrobe doors before he opened them.
But if I were truly the culprit, I couldn't have climbed back inside the wardrobe and stuck this on the outside of the doors on my own.
That's quite true.
That's not true at all, technically. If it's adhesive, he could close one door, stick it on the other one, and then close the other door. Sakes. In other words, I'm totally guilty. It's impossible that I killed Kazuma.
Well, even if you are sprawled hopelessly on the floor, I can see why Kazuma-sama thought so highly of you.
Thank you, Susato-san. Now, do you think perhaps you could help me up? My body's mangled beyond repair.
Well, in the light of that evidence, I don't see any reason why I should stop you from investigating in here at least.
Thank you. So you finally believe me?
Sorry. No.
What?
I'm not sure yet. Someone could have stuck an adhesive thing and then closed the other door. They used some sort of conjuring trick to put the sign back in position.
Yeah, of course. I'm
Conjuring.
a magician. Yeah, no.
That's what you
What does she
messed
think I am? A magician?
Yeah, nothing rational, just conjuring.
Or, you know, added accomplice or a million other
Yeah, I
things,
know, right?
you know, conjured it.
Conjuring.
I suggest you investigate as thoroughly as possible in there. I'll do the same.
Alright, let's get to work, Susato-san.
Please don't misunderstand me. I still have my doubts.
Oh,
Murderer, I shall be watching you. Make sure you do nothing that might disturb the crime scene. I wouldn't want you using your conjuring tricks to destroy evidence, for example.
of course. Right. Yep. Well, anyway, I should just make a start on investigating in here.
We're gonna mess
examine
something
everything
up.
I can.
Man, we're gonna get ourselves in even.
Kazuma, I swear, I will avenge your death.
Let's examine. First.
Okay, well, we have everything. I can just click down there, perfect. Okay, so I don't need the keyboard. Oh, there's a person still in here.
The Russian. Let's do the Russian.
Did Kazuma write that before he died? It looks like it's written in ink.
He must have knocked the inkpot from the desk when he collapsed on the floor. Then I suppose he wrote this message by dipping his finger in the spillage. Poor Kazuma-sama. No doubt he was in terrible pain. It's almost unbearable to imagine it.
Suppose he was trying to leave some kind of clue in his final moments, was he? I'm sorry, partner, but I can't read your writing. It's too sloppy.
I don't think that's Japanese, Naruhodo-san.
What? Then what language is it?
It pains me to admit it, but I don't know.
I do.
It's not a foreign script I'm familiar with. What does it mean, I wonder? I like how it was actually implied that he couldn't understand it because
Oh
his
dear, that
handwriting's
won't
so
do.
bad.
I know.
Oh, what's the matter, Susato-san?
Whenever I'm examining things, I always find myself so focused I forget to look around properly.
Yes, that's not good.
Don't suppose you're as foolish as me in that regard, are you, Naruhodo-san?
Huh? I've literally already looked back and forth.
I'm sure you'll be careful to use the proper controls.
Yeah. Alright. Yes, let's do that. Suppose my field of vision has been rather small until now. Okay, so this is still tutorial. This is investigation
We are literally
tutorial.
still in the tutorial.
Yeah, this is the investigation tutorial segments.
How far are we in now? We're
so now
5 hours in.
Okay, so that's nice. The UI tells me what I've explored already, and it tells me what needs to be explored.
Hold on.
Okay.
Keep investigating.
Alright, yeah, I'll just take over for now.
And there's nothing going on.
I mean, until, you know...
It's some 2 weeks since we set sail from Japan. Have you really been living in that wardrobe the entire time, Naruhodo-san?
I think living isn't quite the right description.
Oh, no, I suppose not. Although it must have been rather exciting, making this voyage in your own secret hideout.
The trouble was, I never knew when a member of the crew might come in, so yes, I did basically have to live in the wardrobe. And last night was no exception.
But because of that, you had no idea what was happening out here in the cabin.
No, sadly not.
This is where dear Kazuma-sama would have sat whenever he was writing.
Dude, she totally is crushing on him.
I know, she's upset.
London Diary. Poor Kazuma, he didn't even make it to his destination.
Looks as though the last entry is incomplete.
Means what? He was in the middle of writing it when the incident happened? Let's see what it says. It could be a valuable clue.
Hiya!
What?
Kazuma-sama may have departed this world, but you must not read his private thoughts.
But what if it's something important? Something relevant to the case? Alright, I won't read it.
Seriously? Poor Kazuma-sama.
I don't like prying into people's personal matters either. But in this case, isn't the need for clues more important?
Savage, she's not gonna let us look at it. There's a window someone could have gotten
That's a
out
vent, I think. Someone got out through there.
I think that's some kind of opening for a ventilator.
Oh, there's the closed room mystery solved.
A hole through which fresh air can circulate into the cabin.
Isn't that a little odd?
What do you mean?
Well, this ventilator, that's what it is. Looks like it must connect to the next door cabin.
Yes, it would appear to. You're right.
But if its purpose is to allow fresh air into the room, surely it should be connected to the outside. That is a fair point.
That's true. Perhaps it's so that rain and spray don't find their way in when the seas are rough, or something like that.
I suppose. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, or it's just like a murder hole.
What the freak?
Who's that? He wasn't there a minute ago. As far as I can tell, it looks he might be European.
Oh, how did he?
You've noticed the man too, have you? I mean, who hasn't? I have no idea who he is or how he got in here, but he looks suspicious, and tall, and suspiciously tall.
Naruto-san, don't tell me. Do you really not know who that is?
Well, no. I don't have any foreign friends or acquaintances at all. Doesn't look like a member of the crew. There's something very unusual about him. He's the murderer. Is he investigating Kazuma's desk, or is he just playing on it? I can't tell.
Well, in that case, we simply must talk with him.
Am I just imagining it, or does Susato-san look almost uncontrollably excited?
Oh, second crush. Confirmed.
By the way, I expect that you've noticed already, but just in case.
She's just as bad as Ouchie.
If you press space on people when they're in their crosshairs, you can converse with them.
Right, alright then, I'll get that suspiciously tall gentleman in my sights and see what he has to say for himself.
Tap his head.
Oh, please do.
Head tap.
We'll ignore him for now.
Oh, wait.
Finish
Nothing
examining
else.
the rest of the room.
The books have fallen over on the shelf.
Look, they're all toppled the same way.
Oh, freak. Why is it showing on her?
And what's this, a statue of some god of the sea? Although he's fallen over as well.
Yes, it's almost as if the whole shelf has been ransacked, and everything mown down at once.
I wonder if... perhaps it was Kazuma-sama doing his morning sword training, do you think?
I seriously doubt it.
On the books.
Then perhaps... it was you, Naruhodo-san, in a fit of rage.
I wouldn't have bothered leaving the wardrobe just to mess up a few books and a statue. Could the way these things have been thrown about have anything to do with the case? I wonder. Oh.
Well, I just set everything straight again. I don't like to see a
You're
mess.
messing up evidence!
Yeah, she is.
No, the evidence! Ah! That was vital evidence there. Now I'm guilty for sure. These are the rules of passage for travel aboard the SS Buria.
It's essentially a list of requests from the captain to all passengers on board.
Passengers must not keep weapons or other dangerous objects in their cabins. Pets are also strictly forbidden. Alright, that means there's gonna be a pet somewhere.
Really?
That's Chekhov's gun, man.
I guess.
What? Why are you staring at me? Oh, she's gonna think I'm the pet.
Oh, sorry. I was just thinking. Are you more of a dangerous object or a
Yeah,
pet?
I see.
Savage.
I can't decide.
Well, one thing's for sure. Either way, I wasn't supposed to be in here. That's it? That's how you retort with?
What is that? The stuff on the ground over there.
I'm sure I'll look at it at some point.
When I went for help and the crewman forced the door open, this bolt has been firmly closed.
It's quite a small bolt, and not particularly sturdy, and it just slides across to secure the door shut. But still, with the door bolted, there would be no way to get in or out of the cabin, that's for sure.
A vent? Stupid.
It's no wonder everyone suspects me. When she glares at me like that, I feel tense, all up and down my spine. I remember reading once in a detective novel, the culprit used a needle and thread to draw a bolt across from the outside in the room in a situation like this.
Yes, that's a clever trick, isn't it? I'm an avid reader of detective stories myself. But the door of this cabin and its frame are made of metal and they seal together perfectly. There'd be no possibility of using that needle and thread trick here, I'm afraid.
Ah, yes, the
When she
very
glares at
obvious.
me like that, I feel pins and needles all up and down my spine.
The chair on the ground. Board. The chicken. The bone.
What is that? Bone?
That's Kazuma-sama's precious sword. He never went anywhere without it.
Yes, he was always saying that a Japanese man's katana is his soul. Wait, but there's no weapons!
Oh yeah.
I believe he had to work very hard to convince the government to allow him to bring it on this trip.
Okay, I suppose that shows how important it was to him. And now he's gone. But I'm not ready to let his spirit go just yet. I'm gonna carry the sword around all the time now.
Do the chicken bone.
Whoops, this
And the
isn't
knife.
anything.
Chicken bone.
That's my
dinner from last night, a roast chicken. It was really tasty.
Yes, it was very delicious, wasn't it? But did you eat it on the floor here?
I'm not a dog, Susato-san. I ate the chair, of course. Which begs the question of when and how the plate ended up on the floor.
But Kazuma-sama didn't like chicken at all, did he?
No, that's right, he did, so he didn't touch it. Meant all the more for me.
Oh no. Does that mean poor Kazuma-sama spent his last night on this earth with an empty belly? It's just too horrible.
Now I just only have a guilty conscience and an achy stomach.
I think that's it.
There's nothing on this table at all. That plate and cutlery are all over the floor for some reason.
Yes, it's strange. Last night when I went to sleep, I'm sure everything was still. No, wait a minute.
What is it?
That's funny. I can't seem to remember anything about what happened after dinner at all.
So then perhaps you are responsible for what happened to Kazuma-sama.
No.
What is that streak there? Body.
This?
Yeah.
Sure, we have to investigate that too. What do you think this is? Looks like a broken piece of glassware. Whatever thing was appears to have broken clean in two. I don't know what that is.
Glass is such a beautiful color. It looks like a cute little Netsuke fastener for a kimono outfit.
I'm not sure that sounds like Kazuma. He wouldn't have secretly carried a cute little trinket like this around with him, would he?
And the mark beside it, what is it that, I wonder? It has a sort of brick-like hue.
Yes, you're right. It's the color black, isn't it? Brick, isn't it? Even though I don't see anything of the same color anywhere else in the cabin.
You literally have to do everything.
Seigi. Oh, justice. Seigi. Japanese word for justice. The brush strokes are straight and true, just like Kazuma.
Yes, his calligraphy always was a reflection of his heart, yet you can really look at those characters without feeling shame, knowing who drew them so thoughtfully.
Of course I can. I mean, I'm innocent, so why shouldn't I be able to?
Even though you stowed away on this ship?
Gah. Now you're going to bring that up, are you? I can't win. Might be everything.
The suitcase?
The suitcase, yeah, except for that. And the guy.
And the light on the
No,
trumpet on the corner.
that's not anything. Did you just say trumpets?
What is it?
It's like a speaker system.
That's a very large traveling case, isn't it?
Yes, it carries a lot of memories for me.
Memories? What do you mean?
Well, that's actually how I stowed away on this vessel. I was brought on board inside that case.
Ah, yes. I see it says "this way up" in Japanese.
Which in hindsight, I should have realized that the foreign crewmen wouldn't have been able to read. I was turned over and over and over, and then I was tossed on the floor in here.
Oh dear, being a stowaway isn't as romantic as it sounds.
Well, it was less painful than the Susato takedown.
Alright, let's talk to Herlock Sholmes.
Nope, gotta talk to the Russian. Perhaps I should see what this Russian crewman makes of the scene of the crime. Excuse me.
What?
I was wondering how it's going. The investigation, I mean.
Grandmother told me Japanese people do not make jokes, but it's not true, I see.
Sorry?
The criminal asking investigator for information about his crime. Very funny.
This must be Mortal Kombat. Oh, it wasn't supposed to be a joke.
He doesn't appear to be laughing either. He's convinced you're guilty.
You might have useful information, though. I have to keep trying. So last night, did you notice anything out of the ordinary at all?
Niet! Of course not. Now back to your corner of the room and make silent. I say no more to you.
Did I hit a nerve? For just a minute there, he seemed a little flustered.
What did we ask him? I forgot.
If there was anything out of the ordinary last night. Alright, now, it's finally time to talk to Herlock Sholmes.
Nope, gotta investigate the thing on the left.
Gonna make sure. Oh, gotta investigate the thing on the left!
This is, yes, it's a bell cord contraption, I think.
What do you mean? It's contraption.
I read about it in a book I was studying that talked about life in Great Britain. Large households often have bell cords like this, which you can pull to ring a bell and summon servants.
Really, that sounds almost magical. Shall we give it a little try?
Yes! In the interest of cultural research, obviously. I suppose nobody blah blah blah.
I suppose nobody comes from lowly Japanese people. No, I'm sure it's just that everyone is busy, that's all. Alright, now! Here we go. Excuse me. Alright, I got this, maybe.
Alright, go for it.
Excuse me! Do you have a moment? Shh! This is a critical point in my investigation. Maybe I should leave him alone. He seems a little unfriendly.
Yes, perhaps that would be...
Greetings! I hope I haven't kept you long. What exactly were you doing on Kazuma's desk just now?
Reading, sorry.
Ah, I see. Fascinating. Sorry? What do you see? Feels like he's looking right through me. Oh, yes. Everything is clear now. The train of reasoning has run its course. My deductions have been crystallized. You have been in Afghanistan, I perceive. Just recently returned, if I'm not mistaken. Sorry? What? And now, whilst venturing towards foreign climes, you find yourself in a most troubling predicament. Oh, well, that's true at least.
But how?
How the deuce did I know that, perhaps? It was really a most elementary deduction, hardly worth explaining.
Is he like, is a joke he knows absolutely nothing?
Have you perhaps managed to deduce anything else?
I think he's like the stupid genius. I think that's his character.
He's stupid.
But of course, a great many things. There's no mystery, my dear madame. For example, you have fled your native land of Russia, being as you are a merciless revolutionary.
Yeah, he's stupid.
I think he's talking about someone that's not me, but he's completely on the mark. You leave 16 victims of assassination in your wake, and now travel to England to blow up the Crystal Tower. And when the beribboned occupants of this very cabin discovered your identity, you ended his life too. Yes, I believe that summarizes the facts beautifully. No need to hide the truth now. Nothing deceives these eyes. I think he's 100% right, but the wrong guy. That's what I'm getting them feeling about. Just to be clear, you are talking about me, aren't you? Aren't talking about me, are you? Certainly, I am.
Yeah, so he's an idiot. But he gets it right, but he gets it wrong.
He's the stupid genius. You see another in this cabin who fits the bill? A Russian assassin with 16 victims to his name? I don't even see one person who fits the bill.
So it's true. It was you who did this to Kazuma-san.
What?
And you're plotting a revolution, too. It's shameful behavior, Naruhodo-san. Absolutely wicked.
I half expected to say, and you're actually Russian!
Fun.
No, listen, there's no way I...
Yeah! Now explain yourself. Tell me everything.
This is ridiculous. And that's like that. We got arrested.
How could you do it?
For pity's sake, open your eyes. I'm not a Russian revolutionary, obviously.
Oh, forgive me.
And as for you, what kind of deduction was that? You were just saying the first thing that came into your head. What is this pose? Ha! But what was I not, right? Whilst venturing towards foreign climes, you do find yourself in a most troubling predicament, do you not? Well, yes, maybe. Ha! There you have it, you see? What do you make of that?
Oh my gosh.
Well, to be honest, this ship is en route to England, and I'm in handcuffs at the scene of the murder. So, not really sure you could call it a deduction, but it's more plain observation.
Oh, you roasted him.
Indeed, and observation, my dear boy, is the basis of all deduction. My method is founded upon the observation of trifles, you see. I announce my findings with a brassy certitude. And more often than not, I'm right. Ha! I don't think you introduced yourself. Ah, my apologies. How remiss of me. I am none other than the great detective of the century, known to men and women the world over. The inimitable Herlock Sholmes.
So, it's really you, the actual Herlock Sholmes.
The very same. And the inimitable, actual Herlock Sholmes. Do you know this man, Susato-san?
The most famous detective in the world? Naruhodo-san, of course I do. There's nobody else like him.
Who hasn't heard of him?
Who hasn't heard of him?
What planet have I been living on then?
We must ask him what he's deduced. He will have worked out the entire case already, I'm sure.
Really? Why do I feel uneasy about this? Here we go.
He's gonna prosecute it.
Great detective. So you're a great detective, are you? Sorry, what was your name again? Indeed, I am none other than one and only Herlock Sholmes. Oh, I see. You're German? Herlock, was it? No, I am no heir. I mean, I have hair. I mean, I have hair. Please call me Sholmes. You can read all about my exploits in this exciting London publication.
Oh yes, Randst magazine full of wonderful short stories and interest articles from Great Britain. I never miss an issue. I have it sent from England especially.
Yes, here it is. The Adventures of Herlock Sholmes. So you're the protagonist in the series of short stories then? Indeed I am! And you've
Yes,
read so
I
many of
am.
your own stories, you've started to think you really are a detective? Make no mistake, I'm not the poor deluded fellow you take me for. Your inference is backward. Backward? My trusty biographer records my greatest detecting achievements and chronicles in them in a magazine. You have a biographer? Do you? Doesn't everyone? Mine goes by the name of Dr. Wilson, presently keeping shop in London.
So they keep that name? Oh, Wilson Watson.
Dr. No, I think it's the guy who died. Dr. Wilson? Isn't that the guy who died in the first case?
I thought it was Dr. Watson.
Well, no, that's his assistant in, like, books, but, like, isn't the guy who died in the first case Wilson?
I don't.
Okay. I must say, thanks to that publication, I've been fantastically busy of late. By this very moment, I am returning from Asia, having solved the mystery of the cursed royal crown. Really, I can't work out whether I should take this man seriously or not. Deduction, you see, to me is a science. Logical reasoning in its purest form.
Science?
Really? The astute observer notices even the most subtle of reactions in his subjects. A furtive glance, a twitch of a muscle, the slight inclination of the posture. Fingernails, arm sleeves, furrows in the skin. All these things are data. Right! And the trained logician makes deductions from this data in the blink of an eye. The ultimate conclusion is, without fail, the truth. as I demonstrated only a few short moments ago. How can he look me in the eye, call and claim? How can he look me in the eye and claim that? This guy poses so much.
He's got JoJo syndrome.
So you see, I have a turn both for observation and deduction and fame. That is what makes me the one and only Herlock Sholmes. Wow, that was long.
That was a long dialogue.
Have you managed to deduce anything about this particular case yet? Have I managed to deduce anything? My dear fellow! Who do you suppose discovered the culprit in his most cunning hiding place? That's right. It was none other than the great detective before you now, Mr. Herlock Sholmes.
Oh my gosh.
I saw he likes
You're
saying
gonna
his name
just
and
talk
name a
about
lot.
this whole time. It's this conversation with yourself.
Ah, I see. In other words, it's okay. That happened half the time in trial last time. I'm in these now because of him. This is what happens when you trade characters.
When I became anxious about Kazuma-sama this morning, I summoned all the crew members to force the cabin door open.
And I concealed myself among their number, gaining entry to the scene of the crime. Yes! Luckily for everyone, the great detective Herlock Sholmes was on board. And the handcuffs seem to be an excellent fit, Mr. Naruhodo. Ah! The very moment I laid eyes on the scene, two facts were immediately apparent to me. Oh really? Two facts, you say?
Oh, it's...
Oh man.
Oh, my... Oh.
He never stops talking. Mr. Sholmes, tell us, please. What two facts were apparent to you when you came into the cabin this morning? Ah, yes. But first, let us be precise. The two facts in question were immediately apparent to me. Yes, I understand. But what were they? Allow me to elucidate. Two facts that I deduced were a mere momentary glance. The two facts I deduced from a mere momentary glance at the scene of the crime were as follows. Number one, the cabin was locked from within, rendering escape of the culprit out of the question. Number two, the victim was Russian and killed following the dispute with an acquaintance. The victim was Russian and killed following a dispute with an acquaintance. The victim was Russian?
Yeah, he thinks Kazuma-sama's Russian.
Hold on, Mr. Sholmes, what made you think the victim was Russian? Yeah, why do I even ask?
Observe.
Naruhodo's got my back.
Yeah, dude, what the freak?
Observe the dying message left by the victim on the floor. That is the Russian word for a wardrobe.
Oh my gosh.
Wow, it's that obvious? That's no, the whole point is he doesn't know Russian. So it's obviously a Russian crew member that wrote it. That's like how obvious it is.
But Kazuma-sama could know Russian, he could have written.
No, the whole point is he's probably not gonna know Russian. Hey, but good on
sure?
good on Sholmes. He doesn't judge people by their outward appearance. He judges based on the facts.
Oh my gosh. Does that make me Mexican?
Well, you.
Do you think Kazuma-sama could have left a dying message in Russian?
In their final moments, many find the native tongue filling their head. For this young man, Russian. Kazuma was Russian, was he? Initially, I considered Garderobe may be the name of the killer. Perhaps a certain Robert Gard, perhaps. But in the interest of thoroughness, I decided it would be wrong not to look inside the wardrobe there at least.
Where you found Mr. Naruhodo sleeping soundly.
Quite so. I found you, the renowned Russian revolutionary killer. Why is it that I'm Russian too? I observed that you were wearing the same attire as the victim. In other words, you were acquainted. So he's never seen a Japanese person before, I guess, you know?
No.
And or a Russian person. And if my memory serves, that outfit is the traditional dress of the Russian people.
Oh my.
Our school uniforms are the traditional dress of the Russian people? I had no idea.
And I had no idea a detective could get something so wrong.
Yeah, I don't think he got anything right. I think he's just stupid.
I took a photograph of the victim and the message that I might analyze it for possible hidden details.
I am curious as to why they Cosmos.
That's all part of the mystery.
Yeah, maybe he didn't write it.
This was taken immediately after the young man was discovered, before the body was removed. Yes, Kazuma had already been taken away when I woke up. The first time I've actually seen him like this. No, I bet he didn't write it.
He's probably Wright's left-hander.
You alright, Mr.
So
Naruhodo?
true. Anytime handedness comes up, it's always that. Oh, yes, thank you. Virgo purple, written name. In fact, the final moments. Alright. Can I ask you something, Mr. Sholmes? What, pray? You mentioned the Russian before as well, didn't you? You know, when you said I was a fearsome revolutionary fleeing from Russia and all that. Revolutionary fleeing from Russia, all that. Ah, yes, the train of reasoning that led me to the truth. Would you mind explaining that train of reasoning to me, do you think? Russian! Certainly, if it interests you. How many times? I'm not Russian, and I don't speak Russian. Can we talk about your deduction before? The things you concluded about me, I mean. Ah, the now famously accurate, troubling predicament you find yourself in. Actually, it was the other details I was hoping to discuss. You know, the merciless Russian revolutionary and assassin of 16 part? Ah, yes. Of the more sordid details. It was a fairly commonplace deduction. Here we have this morning's paper. The main headline reads, see, he's probably totally right. There's probably actually a revolutionary Russian killer on this boat that has killed 16 people. Revolutionary villain Bolshevik flees Russia via Shanghai.
Switches into Russian accent.
This vessel made a port call at Shanghai yesterday, and last night the young Russian was murdered. When was Cosmo Russian?
Sounds like Mr. Sholmes has concluded that he was Russian because of what Cosmo-sama wrote on the floor.
It was a simple act of reasoning to realize the culprit of this crime was the same merciless revolutionary. One who would kill the very man who helped him to escape after his true identity was discovered. Yes, you! Villain Bolshevik! Bolshevik.
Bullshit.
No, how could it be me? I don't look anything like this man, just look at his face! Well, you are a fearsome revolutionary after all. Therefore, you have no doubt learned to revolutionize your appearance as well.
What is...
Oh, please. And I might add, your name does not appear on this ship's passenger list. Need I say more?
Oh my god.
Well, that's because I'm a stowaway.
What about the other details? The 16 victims of assassination and blowing up the Crystal Tower?
Ah, yes. The journalist clearly interviewed the man and printed all those particulars in the article. The deeds the man has perpetrated thus far and those he is plotting. Yes, everything about this revolutionary Bolshevik was included. There can be no mistake.
Do revolutionaries usually agree to interviews with newspaper reporters, I wonder?
And what about the part where you said I was just returning from Afghanistan? Also quite clearly stated in the article. Bolshevik is recently returned after a period of subversive activities in a war-torn region of Afghanistan. Where even is it anyway? This Afghanistan place. Here, take the paper for yourself, as a little memento of this great deduction. Oh, thank you. I've absorbed all that is of interest to me within his pages, but I see no rubbish bin nearby. So he's just throwing his garbage away at me.
There you go.
I am now garbage. And you may find the article on the back page of interest as well. On the back. Cast your eye over it if the interest takes you, though you may need someone to interpret.
Uh-oh. Oh, Kien is... Yeah, who is she?
This is interesting. That one.
Covering it up.
Boom, alright, perfect.
Have you found something relevant, Naruhodo-san?
Well, no, I mean, it looked like it might be interesting.
I can't read a single word, I'm afraid.
No, nor can I, but look at this picture.
You're kind of bad, though.
Perhaps it's about a beautiful young Russian princess, do you think?
She is very bad, though, isn't she? I suppose you enjoy articles like this, don't you? Hentai? Naruhodo-san, hentai? No.
I can't make any sense of it. Ah, I'm glad you've noticed this article. Allow me to give you a short summary of its contents. Oh, thank you. It pops up everywhere, this Mr. Sholmes. It's about the disappearance of a young lady last night. renowned prima ballerina of Nokovich Ballet disappears from Shanghai. She's on this boat too. During a performance in Shanghai, the famous dancer was reported missing. She is, of course, the talented young Nikolina Pavlova. Why are Russian names so hard to remember?
Pavlova?
It would appear the woman was in costume when she was found to be missing from her dressing room, wearing the diamond tiara you see pictured, which is worth some 20,000 rubles. Oh, how much is 20,000 rubles?
I have no idea, but I'm quite sure it must be an unbelievable sum of money.
Susato-san's eyes are shining like diamonds themselves. The tiara is the property of the Nokovich Ballet. It would seem the director is beside herself with worry. Yes, I'm not surprised. The company is most anxious to recover both Miss Pavlova and the valuable tiara. They've requested international assistance at all ports, sailings to Great Britain.
This be another case of a Russian fleeing his or her country?
It does seem to be a Russian thing to do.
I'm not even going to dignify that with a response, Mr. Naruhodo. Or should I say, Mr. Skeshkambov-Skubelich.
Whatever his name.
I'm assuming that. Yeah, sorry.
Oh, what the heck is that? Oh, no.
Oh, what's the
Adhesive.
Yeah, it's analyzable.
Ah, these must be remnants of the glue you used to stick the paper seal on the wardrobe.
That's right. It was pulverized rice.
Pulverized rice?
Yes, I pulverized some rice for my evening meal, even though it broke my heart.
Broke your heart? What do you mean?
Remember, I'm a stowaway on the ship. All I had to eat was Kazuma's leftovers. Even a couple of grains of rice could have meant the difference between life and death.
Oh my, it must have been awful for you, Naruhodo-san. But I have some glue with me as it happens. You're welcome to use it this evening.
Oh, thank you very much, because I'm going to keep staying in the wardrobe. That's where I belong.
The picture.
We can go with the activity later. It's all written in Russian. I can't read it, but I suppose it wouldn't hurt to just glance at the article. Maybe there might be a picture or two. Before we started talking, you were examining Kazuma's desk, weren't you? Kazuma! Ah, yes, the victim!
Did you notice anything useful? Anything at all?
Observe for a moment the desktop of the victim.
Desktop.
Yeah, he read the general, to be honest. You see, the victim was engaged in penning some text. London Diary. Kazuma was keeping notes of the trip. But I don't think you should read his private writings. It could upset people. Tragic. And something you ought to perhaps elucidate before the act of reading. It's okay. She's a simp, so she's gonna be okay with him reading it. You mean you read it already? It is my business to know what other people do not. Yes, believe it or not, I know a smattering of Japanese. Oh, wait, he knows it's Japanese! Well,
Yeah,
you're
wait,
about
what
to
the
know
heck?
what a Susato takedown is.
Here we go.
He's a simp!
Simp.
Susato-san, aren't you gonna throw the detective with one of your trademark takedowns?
I'm sorry, Naruhodo-san. What on earth do you mean?
Life is so unfair.
Oh my gosh.
Simp! Anyway, to return to the matter at hand, namely this diary belonging to the victim. It would appear the final sentence is incomplete, as if the author were cut short. Tell me, what is the nature of the writing? Pray to be precise as to details. Oh, but I thought you knew Japanese. A smattering, dear boy, a smattering. Sayonara, bonsai, mikado, nado. I trust you're suitably impressed.
Oh my wa mu shinderu.
Ah. But this diary is littered with complicated-looking characters, of which I can read precisely none. So what was all that showing off about before then?
If you would be so kind as to show me, I would be happy to read it to you, Mr. Sholmes.
I actually love this character, honestly. This is a great character.
Oh my
I'm
gosh,
much
I hate
obliged,
this
my
character.
dear madame.
Character pisses me.
The final entry here in Kazuma-sama's diary consists of just 2 short sentences. The first reads, 1:23 a.m. I can hear a faint whistling sound.
Whistling sounds. These are very deep waters. Pray, go on.
Second sentence reads, 1:35 a.m. It looks like some sort of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill.
A speckled band? What on earth does that mean?
I have no idea. I've never heard that expression before.
The ventilator grill, you say? The man was presumably referring to the lattice there on the wall, which connects to the adjoining cabin. Yes, the adjoining cabin.
Oh, por fin. Oh, just kidding.
So, I believe I've given you enough to consider for the time being, at least.
Have somewhere to go?
As it happens, the victim's writings in his diary are my interest. The matter warrants further investigation, I believe, and if I am too long, the seasickness takes hold.
Oh my god.
Oh, I suppose. Just thinking of investigating the cabin next door, which the ventilator connects to.
Great detectives are a curious breed. Our minds rebel at stagnation. We crave mental exaltation. So yes, I intend to investigate. Hence, the truth will become clear soon enough. Do you think perhaps that we could go with you? No, that would be somewhat complicated. What? But why? A simple glance at your wrist should reveal the answer.
Gotta move the...
Oh no! I'm an idiot. Oh, these. After all, you're the prime suspect in this matter. No? There's no point in trying to turn it into a question. You're the one who decided I was the culprit in the first place. Whatever do you mean? I have no recollection of naming you as the culprit at any point.
What?
You must be joking! You said it only a moment ago! Dear me, you are clearly misguided. I would have no cause to say such a thing.
Well, actually, Mr. Sholmes, I did hear you say that too.
You're quite sure? Well, that's very strange. I wouldn't have said you had the face of a criminal, you know? Not really. So what? Were you looking at my knees before? Some great detective you are. Well, anyway, that was then, and this is now. What do you mean? What I mean, sir, is this. If you are the culprit, then you must play the part more convincingly. Roll over and accept your fate. Now he's just being plain rude. What the f... And off he goes. Having just laughed in my face, his sense of humor is as twisted as his name.
Naruhodo-san, what are you just standing there for? We must go and investigate the cabin next door as well.
Aren't you forgetting something? What about these?
He
Wow!
No way did she just break the cuffs.
You can
After
break these
Kazuma-sama's
cuffs.
I can break these cuffs!
spent his dying moments struggling to leave us a clue you're willing to give up? You're just going to roll over and accept your fate?
Ugh. As if you give me any choice in the rolling over part. I'm just going handcuffed. I think we still have some
Oh, she just
investigation to
punched
finish
us.
off in here first, don't we? Yeah, she just hit us while we're down. While we're helpless. Let's carry on examining what we can in this cabin while we wait for the chance to slip next door. I've investigated everything in
Good
this cabin.
idea.
The situation doesn't look good for me, but there are still things I can do to help myself. And I owe it to Kazuma to do everything I can to find a way out of this. And bring the real culprit to justice. Ah, new sailor. Is that?
Something wrong, Naruhodo-san?
Oh no, it's just that crewman standing by the door. I can tell feeling I've seen him somewhere before. Oh, it's the investigator!
Oh yes, you're right, he does look familiar. Excuse me, sir?
What was his voice? I didn't expect him to be a recurring character. Yes, yes, yes. What was his voice? Yes, what can I do for you?
Oh, hold on. It is the same character.
Yeah.
Let me bring up his voice. I'll bring it up for you. Just keep reading it.
No,
I'll
no,
bring
no,
up
that's
the
fine. We'll
illustrator.
just keep it whatever. It's that's too much of a fade otherwise. I recognize that face, but it can't be.
It was very slow.
Oh. It is.
I didn't think you were here, Inspector Hosonaga.
What the freak?
Logan, what are you doing here? I think that should be my line. I was so stunned when I saw you, my heart stopped.
So many voices.
Nearly stopped, I hope.
I received some special orders to go undercover as a member of the crew aboard this ship. Again?
You certainly seem to enjoy undercover work, Inspector.
I get the feeling he's gonna appear in every case from now on. If there is anything I can do to help you, please ask. I never expected to see this man on board, but perhaps his presence can help me out of this hopeless situation. So what are your special orders this time, Inspector?
Yes, and why are you dressed as a member of the crew?
He doesn't even have a towel, he's still in his pose. I'm so sorry. This is all my fault. I take full responsibility. For what? My orders were to act as Asogi-san's bodyguard. It was the Minister of Justice, Jigoku, who pushed for this overseas study tour to go ahead. His name's Hell.
What?
His name's Hell in Japanese, I'm pretty sure.
Justice Hell?
No, Jigoku, yeah, I think that's Hell. And he entrusted me with ensuring that Asogi-san reached Great Britain without being assassinated. Wow, you really failed. Assassinated? How could that even have been a possibility? I'm not sure. But these are complicated times. There are tensions between the world's greatest powers. Minister Jigoku said we should be prepared for all eventualities. This is incredible. You suck at your job.
Kazuma-sama was assassinated?
Obviously, we couldn't give Asogi-san a visible security escort. Which is why I'm undercover now, posing as one of the crew.
See.
And I didn't take my eyes off him the entire night we've been on board. From morning until night, until every day. But I never imagined it would happen here, inside his own cabin. Not here on the first class deck. I failed miserably at my assignment, and Asogi-san is dead as a result. I'm a disgrace! All I can do is humbly apologize! Spectre. So if there is anything at all I can do to help now, just say the word. We're doing what we can to investigate Kazuma's death ourselves. I thought you might be. You didn't do it, did you? You're not the killer. Of course not.
We'd really like to investigate the cabin next door.
Yes, so we need to be allowed out of this cabin. I'm sorry. What? You've been deemed a risk to the ship's safety. If you moved even to touch the handle of the cabin door, that stormy-looking seaman there would surely snap your neck in two. I suppose I'm not just a stowaway now. They think I'm a murderer as well. Would it be possible to give me something to work with, do you think? I'm going to need something persuasive.
What do you mean?
I had a solid reason why the next door cabin should be investigated, for example. I'd do everything I could to persuade the captain to allow it. Really, I'd lay my life on the line if I had to. But I don't see how.
There may be a way.
What? Really?
Think of how you tried to persuade me of your innocence, Naruhodo-san, by presenting me with a piece of evidence that you already had in your possession.
Evidence?
It's just the same as when you were in court. You must have done it many times during your trial.
This isn't a court trial. I have a feeling this case is all going to be on the ship.
Simply select the
That's
present
true.
panel.
There probably is no judge segment. So this is probably the investigation tutorial. The first one was the court tutorial, and this is the investigation tutorial.
Alright!
And then, from then on, it's going to start incorporating both segments into a natural case.
And choose some evidence that Inspector Hosonaga could use.
So, evidence that would give us a viable reason to investigate next door cabin, is it? Alright, yes. I think I know what we might... I think I might know what we can use. Let's see if I can present the detective with the evidence he needs to persuade the captain.
The journal.
The mode. Journal.
No, it's the...
It's the journal.
It's this!
Why is it that? Oh wait, it's the journal, because we have to present him with evidence as to why we need to investigate next door. How does the paper seal?
Is that what we're trying to do?
Yeah.
Right.
You're saying, give me evidence for why we should investigate.
What's that? It's Kazuma's diary. Yeah, you're right.
Just before he died, Kazuma-sama wrote something rather strange in his diary.
Strange? In what way? Everyone's got JoJo Post syndrome.
He wrote, "What looks like some kind of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill."
A speckled band? That is strange. Yes, we're still trying to work out what he meant by that. What I'd like to know is... Don't tell me, the ventilator, is it?
You're very astute, Inspector.
Man, why did I make this guy sound Russian? And that was actually Russians in this game.
That ventilator
That's
clearly
mine.
joins to the next... Oh.
That ventilator clearly joins to the next door cabin. That's right, so if we could investigate in there, we might be able to work out what the speckled band was. Alright then. I can't leave this cabin at the moment. I'm stuck here until we arrive at the next port. The captain has given me strict orders to guard the scene of the crime, you see. I'll have to entrust the investigation to you.
Really? You're willing to do that?
Yes, as long as you don't leave the first-class cabin area. I'm afraid I can't remove those handcuffs, though. But what about the captain? Aren't you going against your orders? I'm a man of my word. And I promise you that I'll lay my life on the line if that's what it takes to convince the captain. After all, I failed to keep Asogi-san safe. This is the least I can do. Thank you.
Let's seize the moment then, Naruhodo-san. Just select move and we can leave this cabin at last.
Move. Alright, let's see what we can find out. Let's find out how to move.
Is this how it works in another game?
Yeah, you move to different areas. Investigate different places. Acquire evidence for the court normally, for the trial normally.
What happens if you skip that?
You can't.
Oh.
This is a one-track visual novel for a reason.
So you have to investigate everything.
Yeah.
I can't even. So, for example, what if we didn't investigate the? Would it make us investigate the plate before we move on?
If it's insignificant, maybe not. But I think you have to investigate everything. Yeah. That's why it's a one-track visual novel. So this is more of a puzzle game and visual novel combination. Ooh, I'm finally out of that cabin. I have to admit, this isn't quite what I was expecting. It's less spacious out here than I thought it would be. This is the most luxurious accommodation. Yes, oh.
Yes, indeed. Kazuma-sama was being sent on the study tour by the government. That's why he was being put up in a first-class cabin with the... Even still, this is about twice as large as my accommodation in steerage.
Really? That must be awful.
Oh, there.
Oh, look over there. There's another crewman keeping watch. And he looks enormous, even if he is sitting down.
The door next to him leads to the second-class accommodation. I suppose he's making sure that no one comes in here who shouldn't.
I suppose. Like people in handcuffs.
Naruhodo-san, you look like a little boy visiting a toy shop for the first time. I would have thought you'd be used to the ship by now. We've been at sea for 2 weeks already.
Well, yes, I know, but the thing is, I was inside Kazuma's trunk when I first came aboard. And ever since then, I've been shut up inside that little wardrobe.
It must have been a very trying time for you.
Please don't give me that pitying look. Alright,
Let's
let's
examine.
Examine this thing.
Ah, a trap for catching mice.
Oh.
I knew it. I knew it.
Really? Can't really tell. Yes, we have plenty of those back home in Japan. Although, they seem to be using a lump of chalk or something as bait.
Let me see. Yes, I think what it's called cheese is made from the milk of cows.
Sorry, do they not have cheese in Japan at this
Nope,
time?
Nope.
Cheese! I wonder what that tastes like.
Can't eat it, Naruhodo-san. Trap will snap shut on your finger.
Really? But... I suppose you're right.
You weren't actually going to try it, were you?
All I've had to eat for the past couple of weeks is Kazuma's leftovers. You don't know how hungry I've been in that wardrobe.
For you. I'll find a little snack for you.
Door, huh?
Yeah.
First class. Oh,
First class cabin number 1. Yes, that's our cabin.
not our cabin, it's Kazuma-san.
Sorry.
Your accommodation is confined to the wardrobe inside the cabin.
You know how to make a stowaway feel small, don't you? Small as the wardrobe I've been in calling home.
These cabins are the finest on the ship. My own cabin in steerage is number 539, by the way.
500 and how many cabins are there? Right there, yeah.
A ringing, remember?
What do you think
He
of this?
said there's a ring.
Whistling, he said.
A whistle.
Very pleasant shape, isn't it?
It's the emergency alarm. It's probably best not to touch it.
Oh, an alarm.
It says, press only in times of emergency. Looks as though it sets alarm bells ringing all over the ship and brings the vessel to a complete stop.
Oh, this I have to see.
What are you doing, Naruto-san? You mustn't touch it.
Oh, here comes Colton.
This
With
is
the
the
Colton
content.
he's been waiting for.
This is the viewer we've been waiting for.
That's true. But this is the emergency situation. Just look at these handcuffs.
You know full well that's not what the alarm is for. If you were to bring this vessel to a standstill for no good reason, you'd be in an even worse situation.
I wish everything would just stop. This ship included.
If you have to do something foolish, at least make it something that doesn't affect anyone else.
Right, the room in question. This is it. This is the cabin next to ours, the one the ventilator connects to.
Yes, the ventilator from which Kazuma-sama wrote that he saw a speckled band emerging.
Maybe whoever's in this cabin can help solve that in particular mystery. Let's ask.
Holy chest and stomach.
Holy, his shirt's way too small. You
Got
want
a
this guy?
weird stripy suntan. Yeah. I'll just
Oh,
give him the same Russian voice.
Yeah.
Or should I make it?
I don't know. Can you make a difference? Excuse me. We need to get inside this cabin here. And maybe he's just a strong silent type. You could just make him super high pitched.
The sailor's eyes speak volumes. They're clearly saying, keep out.
That's what I wrote on the side we put over the
Ship
roto
with
doors.
Susato. Dude, no, she liked Kazuma
Nah,
until Kazuma
that's-
died.
Yep.
Kazuma died! The samurai dude, he died! And we're accused again.
No ship. The only ship here are dead. The only ship that's still sailing is the one we're on. Although this man's version is definitely more effective.
It doesn't look like he's going to let us pass.
That's a problem. Looks like a plan of the SS Burya. It shows each deck, look.
Ah, the Birdie is a large-scale steamship with a triple-skinned hull. What a marvel of engineering.
Well, it's been playing in my mind, on my mind for a while now, but actually, how is there such a huge lump of metal doesn't just sink to the bottom of the ocean?
Oh, that's really quite simple, Naruhodo-san.
It is?
Well, consider the Japanese archipelago.
The islands of Japan?
Yes, they're not metal, but they're enormous lumps of earth many, many times larger than this ship. They don't sink, do they? They've been floating happily on the sea since the gods created them.
Well, I suppose so. I mean,
That's how she explains ships.
that's
alright.
how yep, that's
Yeah, with your
conjuring
conjuring.
and ships. Everything's just conjured, There's a huge book on top of the table there, and there's a pen next to it.
Yes, that looks like the ship's log.
Shall we have a little look through it?
I half expect her to chop me.
The
The
rating.
The writing is so neat and precise. Every detail about the voyage has been meticulously recorded.
You wouldn't expect such a rough and ready sailor to have such beautiful handwriting. And nothing, no reaction at all. I thought he might appreciate the compliment. Well, offhand roast.
I'm not sure that rough and ready is much of a compliment, Naruhodo-san, even to a sailor. Anyway, last night's log is mostly blank.
Similarly, that means there's nothing to report.
That's the way to the second-class area of the ship. Something wrong?
I was thinking about making a run for it, just for a moment. Things aren't exactly going well for me.
I might be wrong, but I imagine the moment you reach for the handle of the door, that burly seaman would surely shoot you dead. Oh dear, I'm sorry. Perhaps I went a little too far there.
No, I started it with my talk of running away. There's no way I could run away while Kazuma's death remains a mystery anyway.
Oh, the seaman.
Excuse me, but could I ask you something?
You little story murderer!
He's French.
Is that what the French is?
I don't know.
Dang it.
That wasn't a good start, was it?
Alright, let me try instead. Good day, Mr. Sailor. I'm so sorry to trouble you. But can I perhaps ask something of you? You little third. That is French. You little third-class lady's maid. Oh,
You seem to have caught the sailor on a bad day, Susato-san.
I am not sailor. My mother gave me name. I am senior crewman Beef.
Beef Stroganoff. Ah, I
Beef
see.
Stroganoff.
Whew. The best thing is just avoid eye contact, I think.
Gotta figure how I want his name.
Mr. Stroganoff, about this first-class cabin area.
Here we are in finest part of Borea steamship for very important persons.
What sort of very important persons?
Government officials, kings and queens traveling in secret, many important persons. That is why I'm always guarding this place.
Gosh, that's amazing.
But somehow I let stupid stowaway inside. I want to pick you up and throw you in the ocean, but Stroganoff is not animal, he is food.
Thank you?
If I may, I was wondering. Is the cabin next to Mr. Sogi's currently occupied? Ah!
I don't know what that word
I think
is.
it's a da.
Da!
I don't know though.
Susato.
Susato-san, did you understand that?
Sounded like da! I think it's probably Russian for yes or no.
Ah, genius!
It is not permitted to visit other cabins without invitation.
Well, it sounds like there is somebody in the next door cabin at least. And I bet they're not the killer because it's too obvious.
It's tantalizing.
Did you tell us who's traveling in the cabin next to Mr. Asogi's?
His name is Mr. Grimes Beroilet.
Rhymes be boy lot.
He is very important Western gentleman.
A Western gentleman.
Do not think about it. It has nothing to do with murders of student boys.
just keep it French, it's fine. How can you be so sure about that?
Mr. Roylott is authentic Western gentleman. Such a man would have no interest in lowly student from insignificant Far East islands.
That was harsh.
Did you tell us when Mr. Roylott came aboard? That is not your business.
Come to think of it, even though we've been at sea for 2 weeks now and I've been in Cosmo's cabin the entire time, I've never once heard anything from the next door cabin, or even felt like there's anyone there.
Well, presumably, since this gentleman is occupying one of the first-class cabins, he must be rather important, is that right? That is not your business.
That's not.
Are you on watch here all the time, Seaman Stroganoff?
Ah, all time. So criminals like you cannot come in or get out. I wonder, could you tell us anything about last night at all? It is sad about student boy.
Were you on watch last night as well?
Of course.
And did you notice anything at the time? Anything unusual?
Heck!
Susato-san, do you understand that?
Clearly, no. Niet?
Oh, that's right, niet. Yeah.
Niet! I saw nothing unusual, nothing at all.
And you didn't hear any strange noises or sense anything was wrong in some way. Please averting his gaze, and plus there's whistling.
Yeah.
Everyone's bad at their job or lying
I
to me.
said no!
He fell asleep.
Sorry. I'm not so sure. The other sailor averted his eyes too, though, I think. I could have sworn that he wanted to catch my eye for
He
a
got
moment
upset
there.
when we pressed
Yeah,
him.
yeah, that's what happened. They're all in cahoots.
This is enough, I cannot say more now.
Oh,
It is time for me to report to Captain. You must return to cabin.
yes, alright.
Bulkhead to second class area staying locked at all times. You escape when lobster whistles on top of mountain, or as English say, when the pigs fly.
Yes, I understand. Alright, now to sneak into the next room.
Good. Now we can investigate this area properly, shall we?
Definitely. Anything left to examine?
Is that thing properly?
Oh.
Yes, I'm sure that's the ship's
Just
log
read
and
this.
something, and we already read it, and it's so precise, and there shouldn't be the comment about...
Wait.
Nice.
History. Oh wait, no, same stuff. Wait, why wasn't a check mark?
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe we just look in the room now.
Yeah.
Yep. Alright, to the room! This is it. This is the cabin next to ours, the one the ventilator connects to.
Yes, the ventilator from which Kazuma-sama wrote that he saw a speckled band emerging.
Maybe whoever's in this cabin can help solve that particular mystery. Let's ask. Might just be Herlock Sholmes.
No answer.
Said I was gonna investigate the room.
We're out of luck, it seems. No one in there to help with our inquiries.
How annoying. What was that? It came from inside the cabin.
Such a high-pitched scream. It must have been a woman.
Oh boy. Stand aside. You weren't inside already?
Oh my.
I'm about to break down the door. I'm about to break the door down.
Mr. Sholmes, I shan't be... Oh.
I shan't be stopped. When the fit is on me, I revel in kicking doors off their hinges.
Please, wait, Mr. Sholmes. The door doesn't appear to be bolted.
It doesn't? Then how the deuce can I dispatch this muscular urge? What prey can I kick? I think we should go in. There's no time to think about the stress relief. Oh my gosh.
Oh wow.
Who are you? Like, should you have this voice?
You want me to do this voice?
I just say because your sailors are all gone, right?
I don't. Maybe.
I have
You want me
Sherlock
to do
Holmes,
this?
I have Herlock Sholmes, and Naruto though. Is the thing. A Western gentleman. This man looks Russian
Can
to
I
me.
do the voice?
We heard a woman scream. The woman? Don't be absurd. As you can see, there's nobody but me in this cabin. True, this old man does appear to be the only person in here. But in that case, who just screams? Get out! All of you! Now! Please excuse the intrusion, but you're Mr. Grimesby Roylott, I believe. Grimesby...
Toilet.
I don't know.
Crimes Bureau-lit?
Yes, that's me. And you are? I am the one and only, the actual Herlock Sholmes. You've heard of me, no doubt. No. I am a great detective among detectives, one who adorns the covers of popular magazines, no less. So I assure you, you may trust me completely. A man uses that magazine like a business card. A detective? I do not trust detectives. We distinctly heard a scream emanating from within these walls. But there wouldn't appear to be a lady concealing herself within the wardrobe this time. So might I be so bold as to ask you to open that small traveling case? What? Don't be stupid! How could anyone fit in a small trunk like that? Well, it's quite fashionable these days, is it not? Traveling inside one's trunk. Don't look at me.
What the freak?
It's probably a pet.
Oh my! Did you see that, Mr. Naruto?
I told you there's gonna be a pet. Yes, the case just shook. Leave now, otherwise I'll call the steward. Well, this is Kazuma's neighbor, Mr. Grimesby Roylott.
Who looks Russian?
Roylott. Looks like the murderer.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. This strange Russian man is hiding something.
I couldn't agree more. Let's see if we can find some clues before that burly sailor returns.
First. Mr. Roylott, we'd like to talk to you about something. No! Oh. I do not want to talk. Leave my cabin now! Ugh, this is going terribly.
We're not getting anywhere here.
I agree, but there may be someone else who can help. Perhaps that great detective could get somewhere with the Mr. Roylott. Mr. Roylott, we'd like to talk to you about something. No! this isn't gonna do anything until we actually investigate. Time to investigate. Investigate the case first. Okay, what do you think you are doing? This is my cabin. Get out. Okay, we have to talk to Holmes first. Sholmes first.
Could we just have a quick look inside your traveling case, perhaps?
No.
Haha, what a pity. I think we're out of luck.
I think you're right.
Doesn't appear to be anything more we can do.
I agree, but there may be someone else who can. Yeah. Okay. All right, we'll talk to Sholmes. Do you have a moment, please, Mr. Sholmes? You only need to address me as Sholmes. That's what I just did, isn't it? Well, Mr. Sholmes, what were you doing in there? Why, I was resting, of course.
Resting?
Indeed. I was contemplating our sea voyage from the confines of the wardrobe whilst waiting. Waiting for the inevitable time that you would need to call my great powers of detection into service.
Oh.
And it would seem that hour is upon us now. The time has come. Am I mistaken? Well, no, actually, you're spot on, for once. Observe closely. Our Russian host in this cabin, Mr. Willett, is clearly trying to hide something. And do you know what it is?
There's a newspaper in his pocket.
Yep. And do you know what is the most effective weapon to use against us Russian hiding in secret? What if this is all a disguise? It's like fake nose and mustache and sunglasses and fake beard, and it's the female ballerina.
Oh.
That's why we heard a woman scream.
Yeah, hold on. Do you want to try and place bets on who did it right now?
I don't think we know that much, honestly. What if we haven't even seen them all yet? We have to at least.
Yeah, so you have to think about it. And well, here's the options. You can pick someone right now, or you can say, "I think it's a part."
Why don't we wait to see if there more characters appear?
Well, no, because by the time the girl showed up, we knew it was
all right,
her.
all right.
What do you think?
I don't think it's anyone here, honestly. I can't tell so far. Maybe it's a sailor, but we don't know enough about them, so I don't think it's anyone else so far.
I like the idea of it being the girl.
I think honestly that this person might be the girl.
I like the idea of it being Sholmes. But it probably isn't.
It's not Sholmes. Yeah. I can tell you that.
It's not Sholmes.
He's the reoccurring detective in these cases.
Well, we thought that about Cosima until they killed him.
I mean, who's to say Sholmes stay alive by the end of this game?
Oh my. Okay. Alright, we don't have to call it. I think it's someone who I haven't seen yet.
Yeah. Though it should be pointed out that such methods are not exclusively for the Russians. Right. Can you imagine how the Russian will react when the secret he guards so closely is exposed? Wait, what was the secret?
The truth.
Okay. Would you like to witness it?
Oh, yes.
Well then, what are you about to see may well astound you. For I am about to apply my great detective's greatly admired great deduction to the case. What a great guy! Could this be more a hackneyed portrayal of a dubious Russian, I ask you? What? From time to time, it occurs to me. Is the fellow dubious on account of his Russianness, or Russian on account of his dubiousness?
Oh my gosh.
I really don't think either of those things should be occurring to you, or anyone.
Hey, yeah.
That's right. And Mr. Sholmes, I know this man's beard and dark glasses are hard to ignore, especially on first meeting, but I once read, it is a capital mistake to theorize before you have all the evidence. It biases the judgment.
Shh! I must have complete silence. What are you doing? Why are you peering into my face like that? Ah, just as I thought. Yes, I have quite made up my mind now. There can be no other explanation that accommodates all the facts. Mr. Roylott, I have reached two incontrovertible conclusions.
Controvertible?
What do you mean? Number one, your true identity is that of a villain. Using those shears, you are about to end the existence of something most dear. Are you not? Huh. And number two, The other conclusion I have drawn. You are, at this very moment, no less, in the midst of committing a most grievous crime. Beneath that beard, your mouth quivers with nervous tension as you realize you have been discovered. Does it not? Ugh.
Oh, Naruhodo-san, I never imagined I would witness one of Mr. Sholmes' great deductions with my own eyes.
That was a great deduction.
Nothing can deceive Mr. Sholmes. In a single glance, he can deduce all there is to know about a person.
What? What an ineffable twaddle.
Oh yes, I've read about it countless times in the adventures of Herlock Sholmes. And now I've experienced the astonishing impact of his great deduction firsthand. This is like a dream come true.
I can hardly believe it, but all the color has drained from Mr. Roylet's face. It looks like somehow both Mr. Sholmes' conclusions were right. How could you? How could I possibly know such things, you wish to say?
Here's what you're going.
Very well then, I shall elucidate. I shall explain how it was that I arrived at this pair of conclusions. So do I cordially invite you upon a journey of logical discovery. Let us board the train of reasoning. Put plainly, let us work through my deductions together.
That's how I don't think.
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
Wow. Topic 1, the old man's identity conclusion. Oh man, rotating camera angle.
Ugh.
So the dubious looking Russian, Mr. Roylet, obviously what catches your eye in the first place,
What the heck?
is the enormous pair of shears in your hands. Now we must ask ourselves, what could you possibly want with such an implement? The answer, of course, is staring us in the face. You were on the verge of using the shears to cut away the copious beard you sport. Now moving on. Can't snap with my finger right now. The question then begged is this: why would you desire to reach yourself with this magnificent beard, Mr. Roylott? Once again, the answer is plain. We have clear evidence to shed light on this matter. Regard, if you will, this morning's newspaper, in particular, the fascinating front page article, which, it would appear, you have read also, Mr. Roylott. Yeah, he's gonna think he's the murderer, or the big murderer, but I bet she's the ballerina. I'm sure it needs no further clarification. The evidence that reveals your true identity is the article about the revolutionary. Yep. In translation, the headline reads, Revolutionary Villain Bolshevik flees Russia via Shanghai. As you cannot fail to observe, the subject of the article possesses an extremely copious beard. Having noted the article yourself, you decided to remove your incriminating facial hair before it gave you away. In short, your true identity is beyond a doubt. You are the fearsome Russian revolutionary himself, Villain Bolshevik. Not that I've heard of you myself, you understand.
Okay. Topic 2.
Now, as for my second conclusion, you are, at this very moment, on the brink of committing a most grievous crime. I don't know what this could be, though. And the proof of this crime, over there. Oh, because they're stowing away a pet. Oh yes, Mr. Roylett. Taken unawares, people have the propensity to let their eyes stray, you see. Ah, and I assure you, the eyes speak so much more eloquently and honestly than the mouth. The answer we seek lies where the furtive glance falls. The proof of your crime sits before our very eyes. Yes, the traveling case. Oh, it's not that. Wonder what her crime is.
Yeah.
It is time, I think, that the case be opened and its contents laid bare. No, I refuse! What could you possibly be concealing inside, we ask? By my estimation, a young lady, perhaps, one slight enough to fit therein. Don't be absurd. And what, pray, would the identity of this young lady in the traveling case? Would be the identity of this young lady in the traveling case? Dear me. We are not well suited to the life of crime, are we? Your careless coup d'oeil betrays you.
That was really good.
Once again, we need only follow your furtive glance to find the answer. Yes, the reason you refuse to open your traveling case can equally be found in the pages of this newspaper. I need a detective hat for this, just for these sections.
Oh my gosh.
For there is another, more stimulating
have a hat?
article. I don't have a detective hat. I have hats, but I need to get a detective hat just for this, man. If we turn from the fleeting revolutionary to the back page, renowned prima ballerina of the Nokovich Ballet disappears from Shanghai. Such a headline can lead us but to one conclusion. Your crime is that of abduction. And according to the article, the young lady's name is Nikolina Pavlova.
My God.
Thus concludes Herlock Sholmes' great deduction of this Russian enigma. Elemensky.
That means
Like elementary, but maybe,
elements.
I don't know, man. Sato-san, that wasn't one of the great deduction I've been hearing so much about, was it?
Well, the stories are full of Mr. Sholmes' brilliant deductions, you know. But that did seem a little different somehow.
Excuse me, Mr. Sholmes, could you come over here a moment? Pray, what can I do for you? It's about your deductions, would you mind? Not at all, go on! Well, to start with, there's the newspaper article. I think we had the same discussion before, but these two men look nothing like each other. Ah, yes, I recall our discussion earlier, and at the time, I believe I told you that the man is a revolutionary, well able to revolutionize his own appearance.
Oh my gosh.
In fairness to Mr. Sholmes, Mr. Roylett does look more like this man than you do.
That's not the point. And another thing, the part about him abducting the ballerina. Indeed, a truly startling revelation. At first glance, the case would appear too small to accommodate a young woman. Not just at first glance, it is too small, clearly. You'd be lucky to fit a 5-year-old into that case, even if you pushed really hard.
I don't suppose this missing ballerina is a 5-year-old child, is she?
You mean you don't know? No, the young lady is 15. Dang it, it's reversed now that I'm looking at it. No, I didn't know. How could I?
Well, if she's 15, 10 years worth of her would be poking out from the case.
Some years ago, I read something pertinent, I believe. She's a contortionist!
Well, she's a ballerina, right?
A true a man consuming vinegar daily in order to promote a certain is it litheness or lithness? Lithness, right? Lithness in the bodies. Vinegar? For such a sour bunch, it would surely be simplicity itself to contort oneself into the confines of that small case.
Oh dear, you might be thinking of contortionist circus, Mr. Sholmes.
Ugh, this whole thing is turning into a circus.
Mr. Naruho, though, something's occurred to me about Mr. Sholmes' deductions just now. I think his powers of observation are, well, magical. His eyes cut to the heart of a matter almost instant. It's just where he directs his attention and his logic that seem a little off.
Ah, so he's got great perception, but he sucks at everything else. He's got like perception of, he's got nat 20 perceptions every time,
But he doesn't know.
but his intelligence is like -5. Your idea of a little, maybe a little off itself, Mr.
He
Sato.
notices the dragon, but he thinks it's a moving stone.
It's just one or two key words in his deductions that seem to let him down. I was wondering if we might perhaps tactfully switch them for alternatives. What do you think?
Put some keywords in his deductions.
Yes, but very tactfully. I feel sure if we could do that, we'd unlock the true genius of Mr. Sholmes' great deduction.
Precisely the thought I was going through with my own mind. This man is a lot of work. At times, I wonder how anyone puts up with me. It's not that funny. Ah, and you, my good fellow. Sorry? Take a moment to look at your wrists. My wrists. They've been unlocked.
Where are your handcuffs?
I unconjured them out of nowhere! How did... I felt they may hinder your ability to follow me in our dance of deduction. I don't believe it.
Mr. Sholmes, you are a marvel.
And don't worry, I shall restore the shackles to your wrists when we are finished. I'm not worried. In fact, I'd rather stay like this. So, let us begin. Herlock Sholmes is proud to present his logic and reasoning spectacular.
Course correction.
Hold it, Sholmes.
Hands I.
So, the dubious... Okay,
Yeah, okay, so this is what it was last time, we were just correcting it with one word.
Correct. This right here. Yep.
To cut away the...
I'm not sure. Would you really use shears to cut off a copious beard like that?
I doubt that's something I'll ever have to worry about. It still doesn't quite sit right with me, though.
Call up Aldo.
It doesn't seem to be sitting right with Mr. Roylett either.
Which means, I suppose, that the deduction is wrong.
Let's try to switch a key word here, Naruhodo-san. See if it helps matters.
Alright, but how?
I think we should start by taking a hard look at Mr. Roylett. I wonder
if it's really his beard that he intended to use the shears on.
Exactly. If we do manage to find something that seems to fit the sense of Mr. Sholmes' deductions better,
Then what?
then I'll leave the rest in your capable hands, Naruhodo-san.
Why am I the only one? Why am I the one to do something about this? Well, anyway, let's see if there's anything we could even use to switch around in that last sentence. What exactly was Mr. Roylett really going to use those enormous shears for?
Oh, and we have to find it? Hold on.
Looks like.
What is it? Golden locks! It's the ballerina! Alright.
What's this?
It looks like a cascade of stunning golden locks.
No, the color's not the point. The point is what's it doing on the back of Mr. Roylett's head? And how's it growing out from underneath this thick black hair?
Well, yes, that's true. So it's stunningly beautiful and stunningly surprising.
Something's definitely not right here. Okay, well,
Yeah, click it.
yeah.
That's what it is.
Present.
Yes!
Yes! My turn. You were on the verge of using those shears to cut away the golden locks you sport. Actually, this is kind of sick.
Yeah.
This is actually really sick. Indeed, you have identified the precise detail I was intending to expose.
I like the camera angle.
Yeah. Such lush golden hair certainly does not befit an old man. You're not a man at all. You're a woman, and judging from the length and sheen of your hair, one still very much in her youth. Oh no.
That means
you
it's a chick.
You might have to take over her voice when she comes out.
When she comes out!
There's so many voices going on here right now for me.
I get it. I'll do it.
If only I'd managed to cut off my hair, no one would have suspected it. The question then begged is this: why would you desire to rid yourself of these magnificent locks? Once again, the answer is plain. We have clear evidence to shed light on the matter. I'm sure it needs no further clarification. The evidence that reveals your true identity is the article about the revolutionary. Well, that was a shock. I had no idea the old man was really a young woman in disguise, did you? What? Why are you staring at me like that?
Yes, it was a surprise, Naruhodo-san. You're enjoying this, aren't you?
Sorry?
You look like you're in your element as you dance around the room deducing the facts with Mr. Sholmes.
I'm just doing what we agreed. I'm not having fun or anything. I'm not a Cinderella baka.
Yes, I understand. Say no more.
Well, anyway, let's focus on this next part of Mr. Sholmes' deduction, shall we? The evidence that he's picked out doesn't fit the facts at all now.
No, that's true given that Mr. Roylett is actually a woman.
Exactly. He, or rather she, can't possibly be this merciless revolutionary.
I suppose it's because the deduction as a whole has taken a different direction now.
Yes.
Let's switch the evidence for something else. Something that fits the facts as we now understand them.
For some reason, this woman needed to try and hide her true identity. I feel as though I've either read or heard about a young woman in a situation like that recently. Yes, yes. Alright, I'll do my best.
Easy money.
Evidence that reveals your true identity is, of course, the article about the ballerina. That's right, you've hit the nail. That's right, you've hit the nail on the head. Renowned prima ballerina of Nokovich Ballet disappears from Shanghai. It would appear we are finally able to address you by your true name. Yes, because your true identity is that of Novovich Ballerina's prima ballerina. Miss Nikolina Pavlova. Darn!
Oh my gosh! Jeez!
There's not even anything there.
Here she comes. Holy crap.
Wow, so surprising. Who saw this coming? Oh wait.
You're right. Real name is Nina. I mean Nikolina Pavlova. But please, I beg you, don't tell anyone. Oh freak. Ballerina on the run.
Solved. Topic 2. Well, this is obviously very wrong. Let's see what Sholmes says. Now, as for my second conclusion, it is still the same. You are at this very moment on the brink of committing a most grievous crime. And the proof of this crime over there. Oh yes, Miss Pavlova. Taken unawares, people have a propensity to let their... Okay, I don't know why I'm reading this again.
It might be different.
No, it's the same.
Traveling case. There it is. Whoa!
Oops.
This is why we don't do that, Thomas.
No, they didn't have any. The woman is a ballerina and she's right in front of our eyes, so clearly she can't be inside a traveling case as well.
At all.
Oh, she must not fit at all. In which case, what is the crime this young woman is apparently committing? I can see I'm going to have to step in and fix the great detective's mistakes again.
You seem to look pleased, Naruhodo-san. You like the idea of another chance to dance around with Mr. Sholmes?
Stop it. Anyway, there must be something else here that shows what this woman is up to.
The tiara in the background.
I should have left it on here. Oh my gosh, there's no good place. Wow, look at this dazzling tiara.
I've never seen anything like it. Are those real diamonds, do you think? Oh, Naruhodo-san, try it on.
What? Me? Isn't it usually girls who wear tiaras? Wouldn't you like to try it on?
Oh no, I couldn't possibly. It's far too beautiful.
This tiara looks familiar. I feel I've seen it somewhere recently. Yes!
I like how it shadows the screen.
I like how it's just on the desk. Not even hidden. The proof of your crimes is surely this tiara. I believe this tiara is worn on stage by dancers in Nokovich Ballet, is it not? Indeed, it would appear to be identical to the tiara pictured here in this newspaper article. And if the reporting is to be believed, it's an item worth 20,000 rubles. In summary, the crime you have committed is theft.
Oh no!
Yes, you left your ballet troupe, unlawfully taking their precious tiara with you.
I have no one, no family, no friends. I'm all alone and I need money. But I did not steal the tiara. It was a present from, how did you say, an Earl of Prussia. It belongs to me. Colvin is now playing the great Ace Attorney. Calvin?
Don't worry about it.
Worry
This
about
girl
it,
is only 15 years old, and she's run away all by herself. You must have been extremely lonely.
Alright, I will tell you everything. There's no point in hiding it now.
Come, come! Let us not be hasty!
What?
There remains one unsolved mystery about you.
Mystery? What do you mean?
You have staunchly refused to open this traveling case of yours in our presence. It is reasonable to conclude, therefore, that there exists some reason why you wish it to remain closed. Is that not so, Miss Pavlova? My dear girl, there's no sense in playing games with me. Nothing escapes my attention. Indeed, I have a very good idea of the contents of your case, even before I have ever laid eyes on them. Dear me, we are not well suited to a life of crime, are we? Your careless coup d'oeil, I still don't know what a word actually that is, betrays you. Once again, we need only follow your furtive glance to the answer. Okay, it's the same. Oh. Yes!
Remember ours is not covered?
Yeah, the reason why you refuse to open the case is the bookshelf. He's completely changed tack with his deduction now.
I think Mr. Sholmes is adapting his logic to the changing circumstances, don't you?
Maybe, but why has he suddenly brought the bookshelf into all of it? Just a wild guess, surely.
Oh, do you think so?
Well, it doesn't seem likely that the reason why this young woman doesn't open her case would have been written in a book that she does that doesn't even belong to her.
Yes, that's true. But still, Miss Pavlova certainly did cast her eyes in that direction. I noticed it myself.
Then there has to be another reason why she won't open her case. And it must be somewhere in the same area, if that's where her gaze was involuntarily drawn.
I agree. That's the only answer.
Whatever she has hidden inside that case will be revealed by following your gaze in the direction of the bookshelf. Thanks. Thanks the
Rules of passage,
yeah.
and she has a pet.
Yeah.
Passengers must not keep weapons or other dangerous objects. Pets are also strictly forbidden.
There was exactly the same notice in our cabin too. I wonder what happens if you break the rules.
Oh dear, I'm sure the punishment would be severe, Naruhodo-san. You'd probably be left to drift in the freezing cold ocean, or shut inside a tiny wardrobe for days on end.
I've actually been serving time for weeks now, have I? I've actually been serving time for weeks. Oh. Okay, well, meant it.
Yes!
Yes! Yep.
Maybe not.
It's probably gonna go back there though. Yeah, no, it's gonna.
No.
So hard. Yes, the reason why you refuse to open your case is written in the rules of passage. Passengers must not keep weapons or other dangerous objects in their cabins. Pets are also strictly forbidden. Man, it just covers his face. There's no winning. Maybe what if we left it down here?
Yeah.
Inside that case of yours is something forbidden from carriage on this vessel. That is the real reason why you refuse to open it, thus revealing its contents.
Hi.
As we've seen, the trunk wobbles from time to time, but no weapon or other dangerous item will move of its own accord. Which leaves but one possibility. Miss Pavlova, inside your traveling case. Is the last item listed as forbidden in the vessel's rules of passage a pet? Clearly no winning here. Dynamic camera option, please. Alright, let's see if this camera's good and where it is.
Oh, covering the text wrong to me.
Oh my gosh, you know what? F me. Actually, I should probably put it on the right side though. More often than not, there's stuff starting from the left.
Deduction complete.
Alright, please
Elementary.
be a good place to put the flipping
Immediately it's gonna be covering something.
Kill me. So clearly, you aren't who you said you were.
No, I am not Crimesby Roylott. I'm a 23-year-old teenage boy playing a video game. My real name is Nikolina Pavlova.
Oh my gosh, you're gonna keep doing this voice?
Everything he said was correct.
Oh boy. You absconded during one of your ballet company's performances in order to escape your homeland. Later that same night, you stole aboard this vessel. Couldn't have been easy. Burya is a huge steamship with a vast crew. Did she really have snuck on board without being noticed? In order to obscure your true identity, you somewhat recklessly took a guise of an old gentleman, and you intended to sever all links with your past by severing your long hair. Yet, to a woman, hair is no trifling matter. My personal recommendation is to leave well alone. So, if it was just you, about to cut off your own hair, who was it that let out the scream we heard from outside the cabin? That veritable tinkling of a bell? Why, none other than this young lady, naturally. More like a full set of pipes, if you ask me.
I was so scared when I ran away in Shanghai. I was sure they would come looking for me. That's why I decided to, how do you say, disgust myself so no one would recognize me.
As a result, you transformed yourself into that questionable old man, I see.
So you're just gonna voice all the females that come our way, right?
I guess so.
I mean, with
I
Nina,
put on the
it's such
fur
a
hat and
amazing
fake
job.
beard, then just before you came in here I saw in the newspaper. Right on the page there was a picture of me. I was so frightened, I couldn't stop from screaming. I knew that if I didn't change my appearance completely, they would find me. So I decided to cut all my hair as fast as possible. I picked up the scissors in my hand and...
At that precise moment, we walked in through the annoyingly unlocked
Ah,
cabin
yes,
door.
disgust. Thank you, Master.
Things happen like that sometimes, don't they?
Things do indeed happen like that, from time to time. Are those two even talking about the same thing?
There's just one more thing I'd like to know. What exactly do you have inside your traveling case?
You were right. It is my dear friend inside. My only friend in the whole world.
5-year-old child?
What animal is it?
Please don't tell anyone. If the captain finds out, if you say to any of the crew...
Your secret is safe with us, I assure you. But in return, you must tell us, in as much detail as you can muster, about the events of last night.
Yes, alright, I will tell you.
You ready? You ready for a nice conversation?
Well, Mr.
Oh, well, Mr. Naruhodo? Wasn't it something Mr. Sholmes' great deduction?
It was something, alright. It was certainly something, yes. I'm just not entirely sure what. But at least Miss Pavlova has agreed to tell us what she knows.
Wait,
That's
so how did
incredible.
he tie the suitcase to the bookshelf?
No, he's just thought it wasn't. The suitcase had nothing to. Well, the
No,
suitcase.
but what did the bookshelf? Why did he even bring it up? Did that ever get resolved?
No, it's because he thought that she looked in that direction, but she was actually looking in this direction.
Oh, yeah.
That's the
Oh,
whole
okay.
point. But at least, yeah, okay. Indeed, it is incredible. Ah, and one more thing. Oh, yes, what? Observe your wrists. My wrists?
Oh, he's got.
Yes, again, yeah.
Your hands are cuffed again.
What? But how? True to my word, I have restored your shackles. When and why?
There's still a shadow of guilt cast over you, Mr. Naruhodo. Sorry to say, it can't be helped at the moment.
Can't it? Really?
Anyway, let's listen to what Miss Pavlova has to say. I can't go on not knowing. I have to find out what the speckled band that Kazuma-sama wrote about his diary really was.
The cat.
Speckled
Cattail?
bands? Maybe.
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know what's exactly happening here,
Just
honestly.
trying to figure it out ahead of the game. Doing good.
Let's have
last
the
time.
fun. I gave you the pieces. Did you know that someone was killed in the cabin next door to this one last night?
One of the crewmen told me this morning when I was eating breakfast.
The man who died, he was a friend of mine.
Oh,
That's why we're trying to find out what happened. Did you notice anything unusual last night?
Perhaps you heard a strange noise, for example. Perhaps people talking?
Perhaps the ship was absorbed in a wild tempest. Perhaps its steam engine exploded. Perhaps everyone on board would have noticed if that had happened.
Miss Pavlova, is there anything you can tell us?
I don't know. I'm sorry, but all I could think about last night was what I had done and whether they would find me. I didn't notice anything that was happening around me.
Oh, I see. That was a lot of talking for nothing. You've run away from your ballet company, haven't you? The Novovich Ballet.
Yes. I'm traveling to Great Britain, and from there I want to go to America.
America, where they all have a very Japanese culture.
I will never dance again. I want to forget everything about the ballet. I will start a new life.
You wish to forget? A challenging proposition when you have that striking tiara as a reminder.
But the tiara is mine. I need it to live. I have no money of my own. The Novovich Ballet gives us only a little food and water, and we must dance all over the world. I had to run away. I had no choice. If I stayed, it would have killed me.
So you ran away to protect yourself?
Yes, and the crew of this ship. They've all been kind to me. They let me come on board, and they said I could hide in this cabin.
That is indeed the truth, Miss Pavlova. It creates a most intriguing conundrum.
Yes, it does. What do you think about it, Mr. Naruhodo?
Me? Oh, well, yes, of course. I think we should hear Miss Pavlova's explanation.
It's the next love interest for sure.
Of course, and then she's gonna die. To what conundrum, I'm not sure, but... Pavlova, of course. Kinda bad, though. Miss Pavlova, allow me to pose you a riddle. According to this newspaper, it was only yesterday that you absconded from the ballet. Now, that being the case, it must have been last night that you boarded this vessel. That's interesting. However, the SS Burya stopped by no port last night, I figured. Ah, that's it, of course! So how is it, pray, that you come to be aboard?
Now that I think about it, the crewman outside the cabin acted very strangely when we mentioned that. It was just after we asked him about when the occupant of this cabin came aboard.
What was his name?
It is not your business.
He was French.
No, I fixed it. Halfway through.
That's fine, it's fine. You know. Yes, you're right. He did seem to be hiding something.
An angel descended from the heavens, bringing grace and beauty to the stage.
Sorry? What was that?
It is how the Russian newspapers described one of my performances. And that is how I came here too. I descended from the heavens, because I am an angel.
Considering English isn't your mother tongue, your description is very vivid. She conjured herself.
Mr. Sholmes once said I never can resist a touch of the dramatic. Seems Miss Pavlova is the same.
A genius descended from the heavens, bringing grace and beauty to detection. Words once said about myself.
Oh my gosh.
A quote from a wonderfully extravagant advertisement for the adventures of Herlock Sholmes, in fact. Yes, Mr. Shoei. Anyway, it doesn't look like Miss Pavlova is going to tell us what really happened. What happened to telling us what really happened? That was the whole point of this.
Yeah, what the...
So the friend you mentioned inside your traveling case, is that alright? Wait, I don't think I read that all right. History. So the friend you mentioned is inside your traveling case, is that right?
I don't think animals are allowed on board according to the rules of passage.
Oh, please don't tell any of the crew. If they found my precious.
Then the burly Russians would bestir themselves in unison to throw you and your case overboard, no doubt. So reassuring, Mr. Sholmes.
But what sort of pet is your friend? A little puppy? It is, isn't it?
Of course, puppy one. The cat, please be a cat.
Maybe an adorable little rabbit?
Oh.
Whatever we're guessing is gonna be wrong.
It's a cat.
Ha! You credit Russia as a land with small rabbits, do you? Oh, don't they have small rabbits there then? You may well ask. I have no idea.
Oh my gosh.
Ha. You two are miserable bunglers when it comes to understanding the nature of young ballerina's friends. Isn't it obvious? It must be a chicken.
My goodness.
Really?
Consider the benefits. Oh my gosh. A rousing wake-up call. Daily fresh eggs. And when adversity strikes, it could satisfy the needs of sustenance. Oh my gosh. So you'd eat your friends. I'll remember that. Well, it would appear this friend's identity is a closely guarded secret not to be revealed. He obviously doesn't quite trust us yet. There's something I should like to show her, I think. Maybe she might be able to shed some light on it.
The Russian.
Yeah, good points. Thanks. No, it's not the Russian, is it?
The writing of her.
Well, we know it says wardrobe.
What would we
So
show
probably
her?
this. Says the speckled band. This is the diary of my friend who passed away.
Diary?
Yes, and he wrote in it last night before he died. Something a little unusual. It reads, 1:23 a.m. I can hear a faint whistling sound. And then a few minutes later, 1:35 a.m. What looks like some sort of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill.
A speckled band? I don't understand.
It's strange, isn't it? But the ventilator he mentions joins this cabin, you see. It's up there on the wall.
In other words, this cabin and the victim's cabin are connected together.
What if it's something dumb, like the animal locked the door behind it? Just say.
Miss Pavlova, has something occurred to you? Does the speckled band the victim mentioned mean something to you? Or the whistling sound, perhaps?
No. I don't know anything.
Oh,
Thanks, Pavlova.
you're getting really hard to ship with right now.
Hold on, what is this?
You can just keep them all Russian. You can speak them all the sailors.
Excuse me, Mr. Roylat.
Wow.
There's you now. There's
Yes. What? Wow, she's fast.
Captain would like to speak with you. You must come to Captain's quarters at once, please.
All right, I will come now.
I love how we both voice the same character.
She's the master of disguise. She's very good at revolutionizing her face. What? You must
Master of
leave.
disgust.
No. Yes, of course. Oh no, it's fine. Don't mind us.
Yes, please don't worry yourself, Mr. Royland.
Get out!
The passenger said out, or you want me to throw you out?
Ugh. It looks like we'll have to leave investigating this cabin until later.
What a pity.
And so we lost our chance. Having still not managed to investigate Miss Pavlova's cabin, we were unceremoniously chased out. That is to say, we were quite literally picked up and thrown into the passageway outside.
Right. Holy
Well,
crap.
it's 9:30.
To be continued. Interesting that this whole thing hasn't been a court case.
Yeah.
Is that weird?
I think that's how. Yeah, that's never been done before. But I think that's how this one is.
It's supposed to be different than everything?
Well, no, that's like I mean, it is different from everything. But like, I spoke to someone like this second day is just investigation.
It's nothing else?
There's no like you saw.
So
in
I
the
don't have to
investigation.
defend myself at all.
There's no courts in this one today.
What the freak?
Yeah. I mean, where are they gonna pull a court from? It's the ship.
A ship court? Maybe Poseidon? I have no idea about these games, dude. Maybe Poseidon comes up in the freaking mermaid court.
Yeah. But anyway, should we stop? It's 9:30.
That is a good stopping point.
All right,
to be
then.
honest.
But we could be so close. We could be only 30 minutes
we
away
said
from
that
the
about
end.
chapter 3 and then chapter 4 of the episode 1s.
All right. Well, looks like we're gonna end the stream here today. So,
Whoa, we could play a different game.
well, looks like we're still gonna end this stream here today. Do you want to do something else?
We're
Well,
gonna
we'll
end
talk
the stream
about.
and start a different stream.
Yeah, just because it helps section off like where everything is. Plus, I want to especially keep this series separate.
Alright, later, nerds.
Anyway, thank you all for watching. keep your eye out.
Hold on.
maybe
If
it'll
any of you
stream.
have watched this, tell us who is the better voice actor.
Oh yeah, put it down in the comments below and
I'm
roast.
interested.
And make sure you list your reasonings too.
I like Herlock Sholmes' voice.
Great. I'm gonna have to look at what Hoso Naga's voice is again too. Good grief, I wasn't expecting him to be a reoccurring character. But I'm sure we'll practice up on our voices for next time. For now, we know who's coming back, and for
Who
sure,
isn't?
yeah.
God,